Hey, what up, y'all? This your boy, Mr. Smash Every Blazing Record, and you are now tuned in to the Sit Down Show, available only on YouTube and UTV. Let's get into it. What's up, y'all? This your boy, Mr. Smash Every Blazing Record, and this is a brand new episode of the Sit Down Show. This is Season 2, Episode 12. And on this show today, we have two special guests. They are not actually live in the studio with me, but we do have them live on screen. I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to them so they can introduce themselves and tell the people a little bit about who you are.
Perfect. First and foremost, thank you for having us. I go by the name of Stevie Dub. I am a musician as well as a DJ. I am well versed, obviously, in music. You may know my background also as a huge wrestling fan. And once upon a time, I was and still am the SNR World Heavyweight Champion, Steve Weezy. That's just a little bit about me.
We can settle it right now. I mean, we can cut camera and just go right to the match. I wanted to echo what he said. Thank you for having us on the show. My name is Ross Holman. I also go by Arcadia Smith. I have a business called Local Boy that I spend a lot of time and energy on. Huge wrestling fan, huge music fan. Excited to be here.
All right, now let me cut y'all down a little bit. Now, let me just let the people know how I know you guys. I've been following y'all since like the beginning. I remember big Afro Stevie. I remember, just the matches that you guys had where it was nothing but a trampoline, no ring or no ropes, no, padding or anything like that. I remember all the like the SNR WWE, as y'all called it, where y'all were basically just imitating the pros. So I've known you guys for a long time. We actually started. When did you guys start doing music exactly? You remember?
2008.
2008. I thought so. See, we actually have similar career paths when it comes to the music because we actually started doing music at about the same time. And a lot of people don't know, but I actually collaborated with these guys a long time ago. We made a song. It was called "Get It How We Live." It featured me, these two, and also a fourth guy who we're gonna keep his name anonymous because we're not really trying to give him no exposure right now. But anyways, we made a song a long time ago. It wasn't really the best. That was one where we were both, coming up and stuff like that. But I still remember them days. So like I said, I've been rocking with you guys since the beginning. Now, what have you guys been up to as far as the music? I know, Ross, you say you're pretty much retired, but Stevie, are you still active when it comes to the music?
Yeah, well, actually, both of us are still active when it comes to it. I released, my producer, we released about 40 records last year. We're currently working on releasing a couple EPs this year and just shooting music videos as of right now. During the quarantine times, we're going to start going live right here in the warehouse like every Friday and continue to do that. But between making music on a consistent basis and, being involved in the DJ world, thanks to Ross, we stay pretty busy.
Yep. And I'm back on the scene. I did retire before. I was definitely, I took a nice break, a nice gap for a while there. I've been able to dabble back into it and take some time to focus on my business to get that right. Now I have an outlook on the music and can do it more for just passion and fun.
Cool. Okay. Now, the reason I mentioned that I thought you had retired is because of that song that y'all have called "Whole Squad," where you mentioned that you had retired, but then you got back to it. But I figured that was just like a one track thing or whatever. But I actually like that song, man. I felt like you killed. I feel like both of y'all actually killed that verse or those verses on that track.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So there was some stuff I wanted to ask you. You actually just asked me before the show started how the coronavirus was affecting me, but how is it affecting you guys down there?
I mean, to be honest with you, it's not affecting us too much. I mean, in terms of going out and doing gigs, DJ wise, like we're obviously not going out and doing that because that would call for 500 plus students to be in front of us as we're DJing. So for me personally, it hasn't really slowed me down other than that. Like right here where we live at the compound, we have the warehouse and studio, the house that we need accessible to. And it just so happens to be that I live in the front house and Ross lives in the back house, and our producer and our videographer and everybody else is like just here already. So it hasn't really impacted us too much. I mean, we can't go do the normal, you know, with our girlfriends. We can't go to the beach for a date day, or we can't go out on a, you know, on a night out or go get a drink or whatever the case may be. But I would say from that standpoint, I mean, it's affected us from being able to kind of go out and then like, you know, kind of working from home. Our other roommates are still working from home as well to a certain degree, but overall, it hasn't really changed too much. Like I still get up and go to the grocery store and everything when I need to go, you know?
So where are you guys at right now? Are y'all in California?
Yeah, we're in SoCal. So we're in Riverside. We're about 45 minutes away from Los Angeles. And yeah, like you mentioned, it is pretty neat because we're on the same property. I got this property about 2.5 years ago. It's a large 3-acre property, so everything's here. On the front house, we got Stevie. We have a separate building that's a full recording studio. We're sitting in the Local Boy warehouse right now. And then if you go back about a football field back, there's a back house where I live. So it's. I mean, like if anything, this told us that I was already living kind of a quarantine life. I have so much everything right here where I live at this point. So we're cool. We're chilling.
Nice, nice. Now, let me see. Ross, you have a new show on YouTube. It's called Life at Home. Can you explain a little bit about that show, how it came about, and what was the idea behind that?
Yeah, great question. So Life at Home is really a series that me and my girlfriend are doing about everything that has to do with the property, everything that has to do with anything out of the business world. My last name is Holman, so home to me was a kind of a play on words of like anything that has to do with my personal life, of whether it's building a house, whether it was dealing with stuff on the property, whether it was anything that has to do with that. And so as we were evolving, the video that I just released gets them up to speed till about 2017, about 3 years back, and we've been filming everything we property. So now we're going to start telling the story every week leading into it, and it starts with just basically an empty piece of land with nothing here, and over the months you'll see it progress, and if we do our job right, there'll be buildings, there'll be progress, and there'll be a lot of learning moments. And just above all else, I created the show because I wanted something that could be that my future generations could watch, and I could give them what I've learned in a straightforward way. You know, I was very open about everything. I talked about this. I want to be open and speak from the heart and speak from what I'm experiencing, what I'm going through. And the goal of this is I'm not putting it out for anybody other than for those to see it as part of my legacy.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Okay, now being that you guys are live via video, we are experiencing a couple of lagginess issues, so there may be some times where we don't get everything that you're saying, but for the most part, everything is running pretty good, so we're going to go ahead and move on. Now, I was searching the internet. I had talked to you, I'm not sure when the first time I hit you up, probably a few weeks ago, Ross, but once we talked, it kind of made me want to go back and see if I could actually find some old episodes of SNR Wrestling. And I managed to come across this. I'm not sure if this is you guys' account or if it's like a fan-made account or something like that. But so we managed to come across this. This is a SNR Wrestling Vimeo account that I'm not sure if you guys set this up or if it was fan-made or something like that. But can you tell us about this?
Yeah, actually, I did set that up way back in probably 2008. So this was when we were having issues with YouTube. Even then, creators have had issues with YouTube where they just were not allowing us to embed the videos in high quality on our website. And so Vimeo came out, and we were like, this is the place to put it on. And this was a better place for, at the time at least, a better place for storing video content, putting a website. Obviously, any views on Vimeo, you got all the views on YouTube, but it was a better platform as far as embedding the video at the time. So we put videos up on there, and in 2008, when we started going to the music more full time, we started pulling back from the wrestling, and we started privating all the videos on our YouTube page, and the Vimeo account didn't get the same treatment. It kind of just stood there, and we never went in there and did it because it wasn't getting views anyway, so it wasn't a high priority, and that is why there's still videos that are there today.
Okay, and I also have another blast from the past. I'm not sure if you guys were aware, but your website is still active,
Is it really?
snrwrestling.web.com. Yes, and we have a picture here that I want to bring up. Now, it's not the best quality because I actually screenshotted this from you guys' website, but let's take you back and just. I actually had a question about this photo. I wanted to know exactly how many characters you guys actually played in this particular roster.
I guess the question we have for you is who do you think is who?
Okay, so I know Stevie was Michael Carter, and then he was Steve Weezy, and then he was Primetime, and then also I believe he was Gang Green.
Tough to say. There's a mask on that guy.
Yeah, and Ross, I think I want to say Ross was Sugar Glider. He may have been one of Benjamin or Franklin. I think he was Primetime, or not Primetime. Purple Pain. Sorry, and then of course he was Rastaman, Vanity. I think you were Vitality. I mean, there was a lot of mass characters, but they all had your build pretty much. I mean, you tried to like change the moves up, but it had the same build. So I don't know exactly. I mean, okay, so we can move past that question. But do you guys actually keep in contact with any of these members of this roster?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
So when you look at this roster here, I'll give you this bit about it. The group of us was not that big, and when we switched over from doing WWE to doing our own brand, we after season one we were like, we really need to diversify and make this bigger so we could have people in the mid card, people in the main event spot, and that's when we started saying, hey, we're gonna have to involve some masks. We're gonna have to start involving some different character differentiators. We did really focus hard on, like you said, making them have distinct move sets where Rossman would be the only one doing the backflips. Like, it wouldn't let any other character do that. And so we really tried to focus on that, of keeping their signature moves how they are, keeping their different stories to them. But our roster, Brett, who came back in season 2, is my actual real life brother. And then Porky, lives in Wisconsin. He's still back there. He's doing great. I talked to Skylar, who's always doing great. Lance Dragonite, SNR's biggest fan. We still keep in touch with him, and we just were chopping it up about doing a reunion show. The ironic part about it is we still have all the footage, and we have tons and tons of matches that were never released from season 2, which was our biggest and best season, I would arguably say. Absolutely. And we have been talking very much and watching back footage. We still feel that SNR, it's kind of the same thing, has a little bit of a legacy. It needs to go out the right way, and we are very serious about putting out one season that the right way is, listen, this is what SNR was all about. Not that it's going to tarnish what the previous, I'm not here to make ECW 2.0. Right. We aren't going to do anything like that. This is very much going back in, finding the content, seeing what's there, and putting it in an organized structure to where it's consumable for one full season to be able to say, this is what we did at that time, and leave it to stand for the rest of the time.
Nice. Now, I would definitely love to see an SNR reunion. I was thinking about that earlier, which I had already talked to you about that, but just to see that happen, to see all the, the old cast reunite, and to see maybe even some of those old storylines reignite and stuff like that, I would love to see that. And I know you guys have a big enough fan base that they would be interested in seeing it as well. Now, Ross, you and Stevie both, like I said, we came up around the same time doing some of the same stuff. And you guys actually inspire me a lot to do some of the things that I do, whether you know it or not. Like, I know at the time you were actually doing all the editing for SNR, if I'm correct, Ross. And that kind of just like pushed me to want to get behind the computer and learn how to use these different programs and learn how to work with cameras and different stuff like that. And so that's really how you guys inspired me on that tip. And then also even with the backyard wrestling stuff, like I had seen a few backyard wrestling people on YouTube, but none of them I thought was like as creative as you guys, especially how you innovated your trampoline into like a real like a ring with the matting and the turnbuckles, and then you had your entrance. And I remember on one show, I believe it was on like a 4th of July show, you actually had like some fireworks and stuff like that. And I thought it was cool. And then there was also episodes where you guys like started moving out of the backyard and was actually like driving down the road doing little promo segments and different things like that. So I thought that was very cool. I thought that y'all guys were actually like the hottest thing on YouTube at the time for like wrestling, backyard wrestling and stuff like that. And then I also know that you guys released like a DVD under the supposed to be Under the Ring. That's actually still up on your website under the store tab. I'm not sure if you guys still have copies of that available that you wanted to release, or maybe that can make a comeback.
That's a good. Well, first off, entrepreneur to entrepreneur, keep your head, because we both know what it's like. I really respect what you said of like when you don't know how to do something, we just have to go out there and do it. And I know you know this, and I don't Stevie the guy on the call that you're a grinder, and I've followed you over the years, and I've watched all the things that you have started and all the things that you have been the leader of and have put yourself forefront and have organized it and have done it in a professional way. And I know behind the scenes all the tireless work, all the hours, all the things that you have to learn, all the problem solving that you have to do that nobody realizes in the final product. Mm-hmm. So I just want to say, entrepreneur to entrepreneur, hats off to you too, because you're grinding, you're working at what you want in life and going after your passion. So I love that, bro. So keep grinding as well. You want to dive in?
Which part?
I mean, really, I guess, what was the question at hand with it directly? Do you know?
No, actually, I forgot. To be real with y'all, I smoke, so I be.
No.
I mean,
out all the time. But I was saying something about how y'all guys, about how y'all had inspired me to get behind the computer and just.
That's right. He asked about the Under the Ring, the DVD, the one that we did.
There we go.
So what's funny about that is we've started Kickstarter because as the years are going on, again, I've always had this itch. I have the hard drive. I have 4 terabytes worth of video footage of everything from behind the scenes, and this is good quality. If stuff on YouTube compressed and today doesn't look good, but this was the original files. And I've just always felt that SNR needed a better send-off than it got. Yeah. And so SNR Under the Ring was kind of that idea of like, hey, if the fans want it, we'll bring it together. And the truth is when we announced that SNR Under the Ring, that was a very unique time in our life. Me and Stevie weren't that close at that point. We were just kind of on different paths and going down it. And it was like, hey, I'm curious if they want this or not. And at the time, we didn't have the momentum around it. We didn't really have the urge to do it the right way. And announced it, and it just kind of fizzled out from there. We never released the actual DVD. And that's a big part of talking about how we still have an itch to do something like that the right way for the brand.
Okay. Now, you guys, y'all, like I said, we started doing music around the same time, and I know that you guys have released a lot of music. Would you guys be interested in giving your social media links to our people so they can find out where they can check out you guys' music? And also, do you guys have any new projects in the works that'll be coming anytime soon that we can refer the people to?
Absolutely. Anything related for me, you could just find, if you just type in Stevie Dub, Instagram, Facebook, all that. I plan on relaunching my website, steviedub.com, just so like everything will be in one hub. Spotify and iTunes, I would say will be the main 2 places where you can go and stream the music. And then in terms of new music, I have probably, how many fucking unreleased? I have so much unreleased. Both of us have so much released music. So you can definitely expect multiple projects like from me. And then Ross and I are actually working on another project that's been, like 3 years in the making?
We have another album done together. Yeah, we got to release that soon. You give them your handle, right? At Stevie Dub. Find it everywhere.
Just at Stevie Dub across the board.
But yeah, we have a ton of content ready to go. I have like 5 albums I think that are completed, and that are just that we're gearing up to really release with the right momentum behind them and do them in the right way. And all of my music can be found at Arcadia Smith. So if you go to arcadiasmith.com, you can find it. Or if you just type in at Arcadia Smith, it'll take you over to all the stuff.
Okay, and I mentioned earlier that you had a new show on YouTube. It's called Life at Home. With his permission, ladies and gentlemen, you can now watch those episodes on UTV on demand by visiting our website,
Yep.
www.gloke.jimdo.com. Click the UTV tab. Or you guys can download the UTV app, which is available on the Google Play Store. You guys, if you have an Android phone, go to your Google Play Store, search PMC ENT Network, all one word, and it'll be the first app that pops up. Or you guys can search UTV, scroll down. I think it's about 10 or 15 apps down, and you'll see it. But go download the app. It's completely free. Check it out and let us know what you think. We will be adding those episodes of Life at Home to the 24/7 live stream probably within a day or so. I need to go and change out the content anyways. So also, if you guys have any other YouTube content or any other exclusive content that you would like to air on our UTV channel, you guys can send it over. Now, as far as like exclusive content, even whenever, if you guys decide to do something with the unreleased footage of SNR, you guys could, get me involved and we can make that exclusive to UTV. So that way we'll have a steady platform. Nothing gets blocked on there. No, it will be no copyright strikes. None of that stuff that YouTube gives you. So you don't have to worry about any of that. We can make it exclusive to not only try to help build up my app a little bit, but also just to give your shows a home network basically for the relaunch if you guys decide to do any of that type of stuff. But
okay, appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you.
No doubt, man. It was definitely nice catching up with y'all. And like I said, man, I'm big fans of everything that y'all got going on, everything that y'all have done over the years. Like I said, I've known about y'all guys since probably like late 2007. So I go way back with y'all. I've always tried to follow y'all as much as I could. And I'm just a big fan of what y'all do. Y'all have inspired me a lot to do a lot of the stuff that I've done. And also, before we go, I'm not sure if I talked to you about this, Ross, but like I said, I'm a big wrestling fan, as y'all might can see. I got my Shield T-shirt on.
Okay.
Okay. All right, let's go.
This weekend, right?
WrestleMania, yes, sir. I know it's
Really?
gonna.
He's like,
It's gonna be kind of weird with no audience and all that stuff, but we'll see how it goes.
we know it could be a whole other video right there.
Yeah, I'm still.
What you got? You got a title you about to hold up?
Yes,
what
sir.
you hiding?
I was gonna let you guys know. I'm not sure if I had talked to you about this, but I'm actually getting ready to start my own wrestling company. I just I ordered my ring like last month sometime or earlier this month. It's still on the way. But the name of my company is going to be called Make or Break Championship Wrestling. And this is actually just one of the championships right here. This is my MOBCW World Heavyweight Championship.
Wow.
Love it.
I know they're not the best. They were cheap.
Yeah, bro. Hold that up a little closer.
That's awesome,
Let me see that. That's sick.
Let me see
if
I'll go to another.
Yeah, bro. That's dope. I mean, we used to have to just put logos over our WWE belts. So, I mean, this is fire, man.
See, that's why I say you guys inspired me, because at one point in time, I actually had one of those, the little cheap replicas of the WWE belt from Walmart. And I remember you guys had like something where you just put a piece of paper over the spinner piece or whatever. And that actually inspired me at one point in time, because I had this idea for whenever I was rapping. Me and my crew, we were going to do this thing where we actually like tried to battle other rappers. And I had basically just took one of those belts and I put a CD in the middle of it, and I wrote like Professional Mic Crusher over it or whatever. And what we were going to do is like we were going to try to battle other rappers, and if they beat us, we would actually send the belt off to them, and then they would have to defend it against other battle rappers.
That's
or whatever.
That's it.
So like I said, man, you guys inspire me a lot. But this is just one of the championships right here. I actually have about six championships. This is the World Heavyweight belt. This right here is the MOBCW title.
Wow, that's awesome, man.
That was good.
I have a women's title. We have a women's title. We have tag team titles, and then we also have another one I call the Undefeated Championship. it's a little bit different because I don't think any other wrestling company has ever had an undefeated championship. So the concept behind that is basically the only way you'll be able to hold it is you have to be undefeated in one-on-one competition, and the title can only be defended in one-on-one competition. So it's basically like a television title, because every time the champion is on TV in a one-on-one match, the title will have to be on the line. But at the same time, once you lose that championship, you're no longer eligible to qualify or to challenge for it again, because you're no longer undefeated. So there'll only be like a certain amount of people who actually get to hold that championship. And I was hoping that maybe, if we could work something out, we could get maybe Rasta Man or Steve Weezy or any of those
Undefeated
guys
sounds like the Rasta Man. So
to come on out of
Undefeated sounds like
retirement.
the SNR World Heavyweight Champion right here. Still.
Yeah, man.
Strong. I can get the title down there, you know what I mean? Once you crown a champion, if you want to do a champion versus champion thing, I also have a best friend that would love to contend with the tag team titles with me. We would be great tag team champions down there.
I know y'all would.
Whatever
man.
you need.
I would be definitely I would definitely like to make that happen. Like I said, hopefully if things go right for me, I should be able to get this started within the next couple of months, just depending on how the economy's going because of all this coronavirus and them shutting people down and all this type of stuff.
No doubt.
So we'll see how everything goes. But I appreciate you guys for getting on the call with me, man. Like I said, there were a couple of technical difficulties. I know that you probably can hear my audio really good, but being that you guys are coming in with your signals and stuff like that, it was a little choppy. But for the most part, we got everything that you were saying. And this episode isn't live, but being that I already have like all my graphics and stuff on screen, I might throw a couple of like text in there for your names and stuff like that. But for the most part, the episode is already put together. So once we're done, I'm gonna go ahead and upload it to YouTube. It'll set to premiere. I usually like to set them to premiere at about 7 or 8 o'clock. So whenever I have it on there, I'll give you guys the link. You guys can share it out if you'd like, and just let people know. And any other time that you guys want to get on a show, more than welcome to hit me up. I actually have another show on YouTube. It's called Rate These Bars. I haven't done very many episodes of it. I'm actually trying to like come up with a new concept for how the show is actually delivered and produced. But once I get that going and get that redesigned, I'd like to maybe get you guys on there so I can rate some of your bars. And
sure. Let's do it.
Thank you guys. Anything else you want to say to the people? Any last words?
Nope. Thank you, bro. This gets me hyped too. This kind of energy, I love this energy, man. It's infectious. It makes me want to get off here and just go do SNR wrestling. It makes me want to go hop in the booth. So thank you. Appreciate you coming into our screen today.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all, man, taking the time out of y'all day to join me for this call. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm actually going to let you guys go. I'm going to take you off screen. You might still hear me, but I'm going to go ahead and close out the show. So I thank you guys for joining me today, and I'll catch up with you guys on Facebook. Or, as a matter of fact, I'm going to go subscribe to your Instagrams. Both of you, can y'all put those out there one more time, y'all Instagram?
Yeah, mine's just at Stevie Dub.
At Arcadia Smith.
Arcadia Smith and Stevie Dub. Everybody go follow them on Instagram. Go check out Rasta Man's new show, Ross Holman's new show, Life at Home. It's on his YouTube, but you guys can also check it out now, available on UTV On Demand. So go check that out and be on the lookout for the next episode. I know I can't wait for the next episode. So thank y'all for joining me, and we're going to go ahead and let y'all go, but I'll holla at y'all. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for this episode. I want to thank Stevie Dub and Ross Holman for joining us on our show today. This is season 2, episode 12 of the Sit Down Show. Like I mentioned in the show, I know there was a couple of technical difficulties with the signal, but that is because these guys were joining me via video call from his home out there in California. So there was a couple of technical issues, but for the most part, I hope you guys understood what was being said, and we will try to get those links to their music and to I'll provide that Vimeo link to their SNR Wrestling page That way you guys can go and check out some of their old episodes. Be on the lookout for any new content that they may put out via YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes, or any other platforms that you may be able to find them on. But this is your boy, Mr. Smash Every Blazing Record, and I'm going to go ahead and sign out for this episode of the Sit Down Show. Y'all have a good day.